Hello, I'm Nicola Drew from afreemind.co.uk, and I work as a psychotherapist, an energy healer, and a MACE energy method practitioner. And my work is all about helping clients release their inner limitations, whatever they may be, so that they can experience their true self, the self that they're really searching for, typically in the world. Um, And so I want to tell you a story about something that's happened on my journey in life, and that is around visibility wounds and clearing visibility wounds, which I know affect so many people in their everyday life and also in their businesses. And it certainly impacted me in both areas of my life. So when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I was at school, primary school, and I asked to go to the toilet. And a teacher came in to the school toilets. And after I'd been to the toilet and washed my hands, I obviously was thirsty. And at that age, I just followed my instincts and I my hands under the cold water tap, and I was drinking water from my hands when the teacher came in. And she went mad. I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on. Um, she dragged me out of the toilets and made me stand in the front of the hall as the children filed in for a whole school assembly. And I was a really quiet, sort of shy, good girl. I'd never been in trouble knowingly at school. Um, and I stood there, and my friend sort of walked past with wide eyes, oh my goodness, what's she done? Because we all knew what standing in front of assembly meant, unless you were sort of collecting an award or something. And the memory is hazy. I've probably blocked a lot of it out. And it might sound quite small to some people, but it was huge for my little girl. And so as the children all sat down cross-legged, I could just feel all of these eyes on me. And the teacher said to the whole school, including all of the adults there, I found this naughty girl drinking water when she asked to go to the toilet. And now she turned to me and she said, bow your head and pray to baby Jesus for forgiveness. Now I was mortified. I didn't know I was doing anything wrong. And so to suddenly find out, this was a naughty thing, and now the whole school knows about it. So you can imagine it didn't go well. And in that moment, I believe that I took on the belief that being seen is not safe. And over life, I embodied this belief. So it wasn't just a conscious, logical thing, it became an embodied belief, and which turned into a negative identity. And this negative identity played out in my life in so many ways, so many ways. The amount of visibility, I just basically became invisible as much as I could. And in my career, it's been huge. I've left jobs when I've got promoted and had to do big talks in front of people. I've been ill at stations, waiting to go down to do presentations. I've avoided presentations. I've avoided being on camera. I've avoided so much. And if I had to do it, if I couldn't get out of it, there would be sleepless nights. There would be so much stress, and then the the after effect, the mind, this negative identity would come in and say how terrible it was, and really pull myself apart. So it was really, it was not nice. And then having my own business, there's so much knowledge I wanted to share, but I really limited myself because of this negative identity that had been created in that moment of that really resisted feeling and that confusion. And so my work is really about helping clients to get rid of these things that we know logically. I know I'm safe to show up and share my gifts with the world in this modern age. I'm not going to be, um, hopefully punished for sharing about energy healing, and although in the past I would have been. Um, but there's something in us, and that is these negative identities that gets in the way, or makes it really difficult when we have to go up. And so my work is, I'm passionate about helping people release these inner limitations because they're so heavy. They play out so much, and life is so much easier without them. The freedom that we can experience, when we clear these things, our soul can really shine forward and do what it's here to do in the world. And so I have various different ways in releasing these negative identities. A really effective way and quick way is through the MACE energy method. And this is a non disclosure therapy, it's done over Zoom. And it really gets to the core, the root of a situation. And you might not know why your visibility wound started. Um, but that comes out in the session, and you don't need to discuss anything with me about that. Okay, so if you'd like to find out more about releasing your inner limitations and visibility wounds in particular, if that's your thing, although I do work with all areas of releasing inner limitations, then please drop me a line at info@afreemind.co.uk, or you can go to the website www.afreemind.co.uk and find out a little bit more about my work. Okay, lots of love.